I'm Councilmember Poston, and welcome to Women Rise. The City of Chandler is committed to building a prosperous city for both our employers and our residents. So in today's episode, we are diving into the Chandler Unified School District's CTE, or Career and Technical Education Program, and we're going to discuss the vital role of workforce development. We'll be hearing from students participating in CTE, as well as insights from Chandler Unified School District Superintendent, the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, and our very own Economic Development Division. It is going to be a great episode. We have a lot of exciting stories to share, so let's get started. First, we are joined by Ava Vigil. She is a student in the CTE Automotive Program. Thank you for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
So excited to have you. This is really a great program. Tell me about what you are studying and what you're really most interested in.
Right now we're studying general maintenance, things that include electrical, brakes. We're doing like oil changes, and I'm mostly interested in oil changes. That's probably one of my favorite things. Yeah. I mean, and then brake jobs, they're easy, but they're fun to do, especially on different types of cars because everything is built like a different way as well.
That's fantastic. So now are you going to pursue a career in automotive?
No, I'm not. I am going into real estate, but automotive does like incorporate some things into like different types of fields that you're going into.
Okay.
Especially if we're learning electrical right now. Like even if I'm doing real estate, flipping houses, it really does help knowing how to like move around the circuits, knowing what they go to, knowing what wires go to what, being able to like know how to turn lights on and how to put them together. I feel like it really does help with that.
So what first inspired you to take a class like this?
I just went to like car shows before, and I just found cars fascinating, especially like what makes them like move. Like I just think that's so cool. And when I saw this, like it's like a little light bulb popped up, and I just thought it'd be cool to have the knowledge of it and like be a girl in your family and be like, yeah, I know how to work on cars. Like,
good for you.
Yeah.
So do you think this is an important field for everyone?
Yes, I definitely do think at least everyone should know how to do like basic things, and especially it's cheaper if you do it yourself. And it just really helps with like knowledge as you get older, and then you can carry it on to your kids and like other people in your life.
That's fantastic. So did you find this program to be kind of exciting and different from what most typical college or high school classes might be?
Yeah, usually when I talk to people that like I'm in automotive, they're like, oh, so you just study stuff? And I'm like, no, we do hands-on things, and people just think it's so cool. And I just think it's so cool just that you can get your hands dirty and you're able to just do things yourself and visually see it instead of just looking at it from a book.
And with a skill set like this, you can carry it through your whole life.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Good for you. So there's a certification with this. Why do you think that's important? How's that going to help you?
I think it's important, especially when you get out of high school. If you were looking at jobs and you're like interested in the industry, it'll really help you find a good job with good pay. Or even if you're not going into the industry, like if people see that on your resume, it's a big accomplishment, especially like people like in jobs higher above you, they see that and they will be able to like recommend you to other jobs and other people and be like, yeah, I know someone, they know how to do this stuff. Like, I feel like this person would be like a great fit.
That's great. A student who's gone the extra mile.
Exactly.
That's exactly what you're doing. Excellent. Well, anything else you'd like to tell us about the program and what you like, what your favorite thing is?
I would say like it's not as intimidating as people think, especially being a girl in the industry. Everyone's very welcome. People are supportive. They don't judge you based on like the knowledge you have and the knowledge you don't. Like we all start from somewhere, and it's about building yourself up and building that knowledge up to get to know how to do things. So it's very cool to see how far you go from like the start of this. I started sophomore year. I'm a senior now, and I have way more knowledge that I never thought I would about cars.
So you've been in it a long time then.
Yes, I have.
Good for you. Well, that's all I have. Thank you for coming on this show
Yeah,
today.
thank you.
Congratulations. It sounds like you're doing great things out there. And we look forward to see where you go in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm joined now by Chandler Unified School District Superintendent Frank Narducci. Frank, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thanks for inviting me, Jane.
Absolutely. Let's just go ahead and start by giving a big picture overview of what you do as superintendent. What's your role?
Sure. So this is my 4th year as superintendent for Chandler Unified School District. I've been in the district, though, nearly three decades, right? 30 years. And so I've held roles of assistant superintendent over elementary schools, director of community programming and community projects, and then principal in the community for quite a bit. So know quite a bit about the community when you have kids coming to your schools and opening up new schools. I'm in my 40th year of education totally. Had a little bit of experience down in Tucson before coming up here. And it's just been an exciting time to be able to lead the district of 42,000 students and 5,200 employees through some innovative changes that our district's doing and making sure that Chandler Unified School District stays as a top choice for our families in this area, and we keep it on top for achievement of our students as well. I think you might know the district is ranked #1 by niche and also Arizona rankings, and we always remain at the top of the state in our student achievement. And for that, we want to keep those things moving forward in the future.
Well, as a mom of 2 graduates from CUSD, I can say I have kids that are doing well in college, and I credit CUSD for helping them accomplish that.
Great.
So thank you for everything that you and your teachers and all the professionals there do. So let's just go ahead and get that one out of the way. But I know you have a lot of challenges these days because the world is evolving. How is the school district evolving with it in terms of getting these kids ready for the workforce?
Yeah, Jane, that's a great question because all students in Chandler Unified School District matter, right? So all students need to achieve, all students need to perform, and we need to provide pathways for all students. And so we've really done a lot of work in making sure that students that want to go in an enrollment pathway after they're done with their K-12 education, or if they want to enlist, or if they want to be an entrepreneur, or even if they just want to be employed right after school. And so we have to make sure that our programming and accessibility is high for all students so that no students left without having that possible pathway. And we start those pathways, we've evolved in starting those pathways a lot earlier too. But to be honest with you, it really started with a conversation with the community. And we gathered about 100 individuals within the community, whether they be members of Chandler, Gilbert, or Queen Creek and business areas, as well as industry and parents and administrators. And we asked them a question. We basically asked them, what traits do you want your children to leave with when they graduate from Chandler Unified School District? Some people call it a portrait of a graduate. We call it a portrait.
I participated in that,
Yes.
so I appreciated that.
And we call it a portrait of a learner,
Yes.
so that we make sure that we have traits that are soft skill traits that any of those pathways would say, I know a Chandler kid when they're coming my way, because the 5 traits that we work with most strongly are adaptability, communication, collaboration, right? There's not a space you can be in that's not a collaborative space, right?
Absolutely.
Our critical thinking space is where we're elevating our educational piece. We're not doing just rote knowledge pieces anymore. They're applying that knowledge in a critical thinking way to get abstract learning done. And then also when we look at empathy, especially what the whole world's been through in the last 5 years,
Right.
The empathy piece is something that will carry our students through and give them more grit. And then when we compare all those, we want to make sure that we connect that to some type of global citizenship. So the one thing my daughter said when she left us and went to a perspective of looking at how do I do a marketing campaign in China for, say, Coca-Cola.
Right.
Well, there's different things that you have to know globally and
Absolutely.
be connected to be successful. And she had even posted to me and said, Dad, I wish I would have learned more of that. And so that's every student that needs to see how does what they learn today connect to making change globally or even their impact. Because when they go into the workforce or if they go on to future study, it's not just going to be isolated and siloed
Right.
to here. So that's a big area that we're looking at as well.
So Frank, tell me a little about CTE and what Chandler Unified is doing, because I know we had focused on college so often in the way I grew up, but we're in a whole new world, and you all are rising to meet that demand.
And that's a great question, Jane. We have a very vibrant selection of courses, over 21 courses that students can pick, and these are courses that are credential based. As a matter of fact, over 3,000 of students get credentials every year. But the neat part is that, as workforce becomes our main focus, we have to be thinking more forward thinking. We can't be thinking in what's available now, what's ready now, but where are we going in the future? And so we work right alongside our business and industry partners, not behind them as we used to in the past, but right alongside them in developing courses. They give us the standards that we need to meet. We develop coursework together, just like the semiconductor course that's going to be opening up next year at Hamilton High School. We've worked right with our industry partners as well as our universities to make sure that we're bringing a state-of-the-art, first-in-the-nation high school program. In addition, Google is opening up a cybersecurity clinic over at ACP High School. We're working right alongside with them to come up with those kinds of programming. But we're also being told by our industry partners we need to start earlier. So we're creating coursework in our junior high schools, Find Your Path, which goes over career exploration. And then we've even developed a career literacy course for our K through 6th grade.
Wow.
Just like we did with Portrait of the Learner. It really goes from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. We'll have a career piece to get our kids ready to be able to make better, stronger pathways for themselves. Because we know kids are going to change their minds, but they'll have great basic skills to be able to apply those to any courses they want to go to in the future.
So by the time they're entering high school, they've had some exposure to all sorts of different careers and different options.
Yes, and then they'll go right into industry-based classrooms that work with, they're almost project-based classrooms that work with those skills in a realistic setting, and they come out with credentials where they can go right to work and continue their education, or just go right to work and be employed, and they'll have the skill set. We have kids that are already seniors in school that have the credentials right now, and they're working part-time in industry.
I love the fact that you are working so closely with businesses. I've hired somebody with a CTE credential myself, and they were able to step right into the job. It was amazing. And I think that's what's really important and different. And whatever we're reading in the headlines, it seems, as what the latest job needs are, you all are coming up and meeting those needs.
Yep, and working right alongside the city and the chambers and the universities and community colleges is the space we need to be in, because we all have to move together.
That's fantastic. Well, I was so lucky to meet some of those students, so we are going to head right back out to Chandler High School to talk to some of the students in the CTE program. I'm back at Chandler High School football field with Elise Oxenhandler, and she is another CUSD student pursuing career and technical education. So she's actually studying sports medicine and rehabilitation. So Elise, thank you for coming on the show with me.
Oh, thank you.
Can you just tell me what your field is all about?
So sports med is focusing on preventing and helping athletes when they get injured. We do a lot of taping, we learn first aid and CPR skills, and basic life support skills to help athletes on the field.
Excellent. What made you decide to pursue this field of study?
So I've always been interested in the medical field, and so when I saw that my school offered a program where I could kind of get ahead and learn more about anatomy and all that stuff, I decided to join. And I'm also in the IB career program, and so I wanted to have academic rigorous classes while also using and getting skills that I can use later on after school.
So you really think this is going to give you a jump on the future in your career and in the workforce?
Oh, I definitely do. Currently we're getting emergency medical response training, and so for applications and applying to medical schools and just schools in general, saying that I have that certification, I'll get an edge over some other students that don't have that.
Excellent. Good for you. So what's your favorite thing? What aspects of the field do you enjoy the most?
I enjoy working one-on-one with my classmates, with other athletes, and doing a lot of hands-on work. It's not just reading in a textbook. I get to apply what my knowledge is and show and learn and assist other people.
That's great. What do you think about this field in terms of why it's important for now, for the future, for the world?
So with America being very big on sports culture and taking care of athletes, there's always going to be a sport going on, and so they're going to need people to help these athletes to prevent these injuries, so that they can perform their best, enjoy the sport they love for the future. Sports will never go away.
That's true.
Even if it's not in a sports field, just having this knowledge in case an incident happens, it's good to have those skills to be able to help in an emergency.
That's excellent. So how would you say getting the CTE voucher has helped you pursue your goals?
So having the voucher allowed me to get state certified. In April, I'll be able to get my EMR certification, and then my first aid and CPR certification allows me to be a lifeguard with the City of Chandler, helping me get a head start in using my skills in the workforce. Just having these opportunities, having the resources to be able to have tape equipment and having working rooms and rehabilitation areas really helps with my learning, so I can advance and see how it goes.
That is fantastic. Well, one, thank you for being a lifeguard for the City of Chandler. We appreciate you and need you out there. And thank you for coming on the show with me. I really appreciate it. We know you are going places, so keep in touch. We're going to keep an eye on you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. One of the things that the City of Chandler really does well is its community partnership. So Terry, Edie, thank you for joining me today. You know, we've talked to the school district, we're talking to students, but one of the things that I think is fantastic about Chandler, it's our superpower, is how we all work together for those same goals. So today I'm hoping that you two can bring your expertise, tell us a little bit about workforce development and what are the challenges out there and what are we doing. So Edie, I'm going to go ahead and start with you.
Okay, thank you. So in fiscal year 23-24, the council made workforce a priority by funding a workforce development program for the city in our economic development division. In October 2023, the ED department was awarded a grant to contract with Pipeline AZ to design the Chandler Career Center, which is a virtual workforce platform connecting job seekers with Chandler employers. We hired a workforce development project manager. In April of 2024, we launched the Chandler Career Center. And in May of 2024, we put on an advanced manufacturing career expo with our partners, Chandler Gilbert Community College and the Chandler Chamber of Commerce. And that's where we offered the Chandler Career Center for the first time to not only job seekers, but employers here in Chandler.
Excellent.
We've also launched 4 lunch and learns with the Chandler Career Center, and those were informational sessions to sign up employers here in Chandler. And to date, we have 41 companies that have registered on the Chandler Career Center, with 77 companies utilizing the Chandler Career Center. One of the services that our workforce development project manager oversees is our white glove service to our Chandler employers.
I love that.
By offering to post their positions for them. And to date, we've posted over 460 positions on the Chandler Career Center, and we have over 625 job seekers registered.
Awesome. That is fantastic, connecting those two directly together. I'm going to ask why that's so important for the city to have this role next. So you think on that.
Okay.
And let's move over to Terry and tell us a little bit about what the Chamber's role is in workforce development and what you all are doing and why that's so important.
Well, thank you for that question. The Chandler Chamber, that's all what we are about, is business and really helping our businesses here grow here in Chandler. You know, we represent about 175,000 employees here in Chandler. Some of those employees need some upskilling that we may have to assist them, and working with our local community colleges or our universities on some of those certificate programs. One of the things that we're really, really good at is really bringing in our educational partners for a one-stop shop to our businesses. So for instance, and the collaboration with the city has been incredible. One of the things that we do are our business retention and expansion visits. We, number one, go into companies of all sizes, thanking them for being here in business here in Chandler. And number two, what can we do to help them? In a recent survey that the Chamber did, over 85% of Chandler businesses, their number one issue was workforce.
Wow.
And whether that is attracting talent, retaining talent, or upskilling that talent. So all of these programs and services are essential to helping our businesses. So in our business retention and expansion visits, what's really unique about that is we bring in all of our educational partners from our K-12, and I know that you talked about our CTE programs earlier, but those are really important. What are their immediate needs now? What are their short-term needs? And what are their long-term needs? And so by bringing in all of the educational partners, we can address those programs or what is needed for those companies. And it's a one-stop shop for them, and they love that. Just as the city also has that career connection, we also have that opportunity on our website too to be able to, it's a free service, to be able to post those jobs and really be able to connect those employers with potential new employees.
Excellent, excellent. What would you say, Terry, is the biggest challenge right now?
One of the biggest challenges is there's just not enough people. And, you know, businesses are facing a number of different things. Number one, the amount of talent. The jobs are out there. If you really want to work, the jobs are out there. Our unemployment is very low. We're also challenged, especially because Chandler's such a desirable community to live in, is obviously housing, and the city is doing some amazing things to address that. But those are just some of the initial challenges. From an educational standpoint, creating those certification programs, because employers, sometimes they not wait 4 years till somebody gets a degree. They need something immediate. And with some of our partners and being able to create, whether it's CTE or some of the certificate programs at Chandler Gilbert Community College, those are instant for employers, and that's really important.
And one of my budget initiatives last year was to provide CTE scholarships, so to speak, to some of the CUSD students. That's just a drop in the bucket of what we can do, but it's a start. And it's something that I felt was very important from an economic development perspective. So I was going to ask you again, as an economic development professional, Edie, why do you see some of these initiatives, why being so important for our community to invest in items like workforce?
Absolutely. So Terry touched on our low employment rate. She's right. We have a 2.9% unemployment rate, which is not the problem. The problem is that connectivity between employers and the talent that's out there, right? So to grow that workforce through training resources supplied by our partners, and I'll use a good example with Grand Canyon University. They opened the 16-month Accelerated Bachelor of Science in Nursing program in Chandler to assist in addressing the nursing shortage that we have. That's one example of connecting that new talent to the workforce. And then also growing our future workforce here in Chandler with our Chandler students. So every CUSD student is able to connect on the Chandler Career Center to learn about career paths, certifications, and start planting the seeds to get them involved in what their career is going to be and keep them here in Chandler.
Which is exactly where we want them to be.
Absolutely.
So just real quickly, I'm going to ask, do you have a great success story you could share?
Council awarded a one-time funding of $25,000 to fund 25 STEM degree scholarships at CGCC, Chandler Gilbert Community College, and our workforce development project manager is working with all 25 of those students. They're onboarded onto the Chandler Career Center, and we'll follow them through their career to help them with internships and possible careers here in Chandler. So I think that's a super success story.
That is a great success story. We've got such great students. It's great to watch them succeed. So thank you, Edie. Terry, do you have a good success story for us?
I have.
We got to have some good news.
I know. And, you know, Edie said it best. There are so many great things that we can talk about. But the scholarships, you know, the Chandler Chamber, we've awarded over $100,000 in scholarships, not only just to students, but people who are going back. Maybe they've been in their career for a long time, and they just need a little bit more training. AI is changing the way we do things across the board. I don't care what industry you're in. And a great success story is our partnership with Chandler Gilbert Community College. They are now the one of the only community colleges in the entire country to be able to offer a 4-year degree in AI. That's happening right here in our own backyard. Chandler is leading the way on how we do business from our students' perspective to our employer perspective and our educational. And it's critical that we keep these partnerships and these success stories moving forward.
It is our superpower. I said it before, I'll say it again. Terry, Edie, thank you so much for joining me today. You are both doing important work in workforce development and helping students and businesses in Chandler. We really appreciate it, and I appreciate you being here today. I'm Councilmember Jane Poston. Thank you for joining me on Women Rise. We'll see you again next time.